call this meeting of Nicholas County Board of Education to order. And at this time, if you will stand and join us for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please join the board with the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item on the agenda, number 3A, acceptance of Dr. Gus Pennick's resignation from Nicholas County Board of Education effective 12:01 a.m. Thursday, May 25th, 2023. We're going to consider these motions separately, so if someone would make a motion to accept that.
I so move.
Mr. Moose makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Green. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried. And with that taken care of, consideration of and potential action on the appointment of Mr. James Steve Ferguson to fill the unexpired term of Dr. Gus Pennick. And does the board want to go into executive session or anything to discuss that? Okay. Do we have a motion on the floor to accept Mr. Ferguson? Mr. Berry makes a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Moose. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion carried unanimously. 3C, swearing in of newly hired superintendent, Mr. Terrence Beam, and we'll take care of that first. So, Mr. Judge Callahan.
Be right there. Get me right in the middle. There we go. Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Terrence Beam,
I, Terrence Beam,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of West Virginia,
and the state of West Virginia,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of member of the Nicholas County Board of Education
for the Nicholas County Board of Education,
beginning June 5th, 2023,
on June 5th, 2023,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Yes.
July 5th, sir. July 5th.
July 1st.
Or July 1st, I'm sorry.
We can revise that later.
Say a few things.
Would you like to say something?
I will.
Yes,
Just a
sir.
couple things. First of all, I apologize for my voice. It's not very good. But, I went camping a couple weeks ago, and I've been hoarse ever since. But I just wanted to say publicly that I feel very blessed to have this opportunity. I've lived in Nicholas County, except for 6 months, my entire life, and it's always been home to me, and always will be home to me. But I want to talk real quick about these two Bibles. First of all, I think I need two Bibles instead of one. I think that a double dose is good for all of us, especially for me. But this first Bible was my dad's Bible. And his dad gave it to him when he was in the Army in World War II. And so my dad passed away about 12 years ago, So in some small way, he's here with me today with his Bible. This Bible here is my mom's Bible. She gave it to me a while back. She may not even remember giving it to me. But she was given this Bible in 1943 for having perfect attendance for a year in church by Mrs. Dana Travis, which you probably remember.
Sure.
And so I couldn't think of any better way to honor my parents than to use their Bibles for this ceremony. So I thank you for that. I'll be very brief because I know you got a lot to do. I haven't seen this many people in a board meeting since I was putting masks on kids in Pocahontas County. And we had a lot of people showing up for that. But I want to thank my family for being here and supporting me. They always support everything that I do, the decisions I make. I'm always thankful for that. They're all in church and doing the good things in their life. They've been kicked in the teeth a few times, but they keep getting back up stronger than ever. I'm so proud of them for that. And of course, I'm so thankful my mom's here. She can't hear me very well, but she can hear me enough, I think, for being here today. She's always been the rock of our family and so supportive of everything that I do. And she was the one person of all, when I told the family that I was going to do this, she was extremely supportive. She never had the first doubt. She was just always on my side with that. But then the last person, I better turn around and try to talk. My wife, Penny. She's everything to me. She makes every day worth getting up for. And she straightens me out when I need her, which is pretty often. But thank you for this opportunity. I'll do the best I can.
Thank you. Well, Steve, you gotta follow that.
And repeat after me. I, James Stephen Ferguson,
I, James Stephen Ferguson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of West Virginia,
and the state of West Virginia,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of a member of the Nicholas County Board of Education,
the duties of a member of the Nicholas County Board of Education,
Nicholas County, West Virginia,
Nicholas County, West Virginia,
beginning June 5th, 2023,
beginning June 5th, 2023,
to the best of my skill and judgment.
to the best of my skill and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you and your family want to get a picture with the judge before.
Yes.
Sure.
I can take one.
Okay, that'd be great.
Mr. Ferguson. Sign that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Take one more.
And Mr. Bean, if you'd like to have a picture. All of them.
And then will you go to this?
And some of the one we did first. Make sure that- Squeeze together.
Yeah, we'll have to stretch when we get here. I'd like to see everybody then. 1, 2, 3. We're going this way. Okay.
Terrence, Mr. Bailey, and Mr. Callahan sign that new document that she's fixing.
Yeah, I'll wait till she's back.
Welcome. First meeting of St. Paul time.
Chief, I would like to say a few words if I could.
Yeah, Kim signed it. Yeah, go ahead.
All I was going to say is, thanks for the opportunity. I can't be as elegant as Terrence was. It's a great speech. For those that don't know me, I'm a 1974 graduate of Richwood High School. My mother, who was here at 95 years old, was secretary of the high school for about 30 years, so she knows about everybody in Richwood. My father and mother had a Ferguson Tire and Hardware School on Main Street. And life brought me over to actually Beckley for about 3 years, and then went back to Summersville, and my family started developing Northside Development. During that term, we also actually owned the Nicholas County Community Healthcare Center, which was at that time the largest employer in Richwood. We owned it for about 8 or 9 years, and we sold it. Of course, it's been flooded out now. Got 5 grandkids. I think 4 of them are here tonight. Not doing this for any particular reason. The timing's good. I think my heart's in the right place. God has blessed me, and I think will continue to guide me. And my motto in life is pretty simple: find a way. And I think I'm going to need to continue to fight through some issues and stuff here and find a way. And that's what I do. But I do appreciate the opportunity. Life's a learning experience. I really appreciate Dr. Penix. Dr. Penix is a good man. This is a good board. Libby Kaufman, previous mentor, these boards have gone through an awful lot, and it's easy to sit back and say things, but now, you know, when you get in the seats, you get to learn exactly all the decisions that have to be made, why they have to be made. And I've got all the confidence in the world that you've got some good leaders up here, and we'll try to do the best we can for you.
Well, I want to respond to that by saying welcome. And one of the reasons that I kind of put your name out there was, you know, top-notch business person. You know business, very successful. You built things. Of course, you're also an accountant. So all those things fit this job. Now, Dr. Penix had other qualities that you don't have, but you've got some that he doesn't have. So we're going to miss him, but we sure do appreciate you stepping into the position.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, approved minutes of meetings held on May 15th, May 24th, and May 30th, 2023. Mr. Green makes a motion that we approve the minutes held from May 15th, May 24th, and May 30th, 2023. Do we have a second?
Discussion just on May 30th. Should we insert there where it says to hire Mr. Terrence Bean effective July 1, 2023 with no date there? And I know you've had questions on that. Should we insert July 1, 2023?
It would be my recommendation that you do so.
Thank you. Yeah, I did have a question from the executive director of the school there's too many SBAs, from the School Board Association. And so, you know, the question was, did we have two superintendents hired at one time? And of course, we don't. Dr. Petrick's with us till June 30th, and Mr. Bean takes over July 1. So, yeah, Kim, if you'll just fix that, it's a minor thing. Anything else? All right, so we had a motion by Mr. Green, do we have a second? On the minutes. Mr. Moose, did you have anything else, sir?
Did we list three different sets of minutes?
Yes, we had a special meeting. We had
Oh,
a
from
special
the other
meeting.
meeting,
Yes.
okay, gotcha. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks. I'll second.
All right. Okay, so motion by Mr. Green, second by Mr. Moose. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried. And then we have some recognition tonight, the Golden Horseshoe winners.
Whoa.
It's okay, the board goes down front.
Oh,
I was gonna say, he's normally in the middle, so I hate to take that spot.
Hello, I'm Josie Groves. I'm an instructional coordinator here at the district office. And tonight I have the honor to introduce our 2023 Nicholas County Golden Horseshoe winners. The Golden Horseshoe Test is an assessment that is administered to all 8th grade students across the state of West Virginia, and its purpose is to assess student knowledge of our great state. It's been administered every year since 1931, and it's the longest running program of its kind in any state. This year, Nicholas County has 3 students who achieved the honor of being dignified as Golden Horseshoe recipients. And these students will be recognized tonight and will also be inducted as Knights of the Golden Horseshoe at the West Virginia Culture Center in Charleston next week. Golden Horseshoe winners, when I call your name, please come up to receive your certificate. You'll take a picture with the board members and Dr. Tetrick, sorry. And then you can stand over to the side, and at the end, we'll take a picture of everybody. All right? Dr. Tetrick, would you mind handing their certificates as they come through? All right, first we have Brennan Smith.
Congratulations, Brennan.
Picture.
Now, if you get there. Congratulations. You'll just get right here in the middle and take a picture with you while the board members. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Next we have Aubrey Clark.
Congratulations, Aubrey. Okay. Do you hop there in a minute? One, 2, 3. Okay.
And Matilda Rodabaugh. Brennan and Aubrey, will you get in the middle so we can take a group picture? Parents, if you want to come up and take a picture.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Don't go yet.
I'll get out of your way.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, guys.
It's okay. I'll answer the question.
right now, and then we can advance and then waiting.
Okay. That brings us to action items 6A, approval of the administrative guidelines for use of facility.
Okay, at the last meeting, I advised the board that I would bring back administrative guidelines. I received I received a request from Kendra Rapp. You should have this in your board packet. Kendra Rapp, Amelia Morrison, Julie Kaiser, and Christina Frame. That says, we have discussed the for-profit users of our facilities and have reached the following conclusions. If a user requests an area of our building, gym, auditorium, classrooms, etc., and is operating as a business and/or with a business license, they are required to pay $40 per hour, may also need additional custodial fee. If someone is using it for tutoring, lessons, etc., that is not operating as a business, no fee unless there is a custodian required. This would greatly help if a teacher stayed for tutoring, music lessons, etc., which will help the students, but they are not in it for business, just like a public place to meet. So I responded back to the email that was sent from Candy Rapp, and she had everybody on the email. I said, and again, you have this in your packet, is everyone on this email in agreement? And of course, then I got a response back from Christina Frame that says, yes, we discussed this last week. And then I had another email from Julie Kaiser that said yes. Then I contacted J.B. Miller, and I asked him, because they also had questions about the facility, all the facilities. And he said that he talked with Scott Williams and Gene Collins, and they said that they were okay with whatever that everyone else thinks is best. And so that's the reason this is being brought forward. The for-profit is exactly, the administrative guidelines is exactly as it was previously, but on number 6, it changes to the cost for the use of facilities by for-profit organizations and individuals will be $40 per hour. Custodial fees shall be $33 an hour. Custodial fees may be waived by mutual agreement of the building administrator and the requesting party, provided that the requesting party agrees to properly clean all areas. Requesters who seek to use the red gym will pay an additional fee of $250 if the building administrator deems it is necessary to cover the gym floor. The cost of use for facilities for profit organizations and individuals host events that have vendors, concessions, host tournaments, competitions, training camps, or anything not related to a school-related program or activity will be 50% of the proceeds minus custodial fees. Custodial fees shall be $33 an hour. Custodial fees may be waived by mutual agreement of building administrator and requesting party, provided that requesting party agrees to properly clean all areas. Requesters who seek the use of the red gym will pay an additional fee of $250 if the building administrator deems it necessary to cover the gym floor. And the way these administrators arrived at this figure is that is the rate that the school system is charged for both gymnasiums that they rent, which is $40 an hour. So since it's for-profit use, so I'm bringing this to the board, and I'm requesting that you support what the principals are requesting.
So did you say we should have had a copy of the emails or just the policy?
Well, I can give you a copy of the email I just read. The policy's in there, maybe the email did not go, but I have a copy of the email. It's just the simple what I just read. You want copies of it?
Just in case somebody questions.
And I made a note, the other was a text message that I read to you
Okay.
from JP Miller.
So,
Kim.
basically what you're saying is the only thing changed in this policy was the $40 per hour?
Yes.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing, yes.
And the custodial fee, as long as these folks clean up, they're not charged that.
Right. That's on mutual agreement with the administrator. One of the things a lot of people don't realize is I don't ever get involved in the facilities. The principals run their facilities, they're the leaders of their facilities, they're the ones that do the agreements with individuals, so it's my job to provide guidance. And the original guidance that I presented, the for-profit, that was something that was not as thought out. Our facilities are for educational purposes, and when you start allowing someone to run a business out of a facility that's paid for by tax dollars, that really gets into a different level of concerns, because, I've had an individual called and said, I want to run a tutoring class out of a high school, and so I'm going to charge students, and I should be allowed to do that. It just, there's lots of crazy things that happen, but again, I just told the board, I told the principals, if that's something that you want to pursue, send me an email, because if that's what you want, I will be an advocate for what you're requesting.
I would just be clear to them that, we have to be fair to everybody involved. And so if there's somebody that's charging for tutoring service, that it's the same fee, correct?
Correct, and
Now-
I've asked that because I had heard, some individuals say that others were doing that, and I have been told absolutely that is not true.
Okay, because I heard that too.
Yeah, I heard the same thing, maybe you mentioned it, someone mentioned it to me, and I inquired, I went to each principal, they said that is absolutely false.
So,
So I can only go by their word, and I believe them all to be honorable and wouldn't have no reason to believe that they're being dishonest about it.
so I know there's folks that use the school,
Yes,
that are volunteering,
yes,
so they'll still,
absolutely.
the fee will be waived.
And I have been an advocate for that. That was one of the things that it's very important to me, is that the community be able to use facilities. But running a business is a totally different topic.
Would this be like a fundraiser for the athletic department? I mean, does it go back into the general fund or
What's that? If they
Fees,
charge
fees.
50, that stays with
the
the
school?
school. And then the school determines how that goes. Now, if you have someone that is for profit, that individual could actually work with the principal and create a fundraiser. If they create a fundraiser and they earmark that fundraiser to apply toward a particular program for whether it be football or baseball or whatever, so whatever money's generated as a result of the fundraiser, then that money, as you know, if it's marked it has to go there, that's exactly where it would go. So there's opportunities to do fundraisers and things like that with the school. But yes. So,
I'm just curious, under number 7, where the 50% of proceeds, was that already there, or is this new?
You know what? I can't remember.
I believe that's new.
That part's new.
I believe so.
So,
50%? Here.
well, if it's
Money
for,
for fundraising, I know
yeah, if
it's
it's
for
for
profit.
profit, yes.
Yeah, but if you could have 50% of the gross proceeds, and you have a lot of other expenses involved, I mean, I take it that's not net, that's 50% of proceeds.
50%. And the reason for that is, so if you go out and host like, let's just say you're for-profit and you have a wrestling tournament for-profit. I don't know that we have any for-profits, but let's just say we do. I know that we had, when they did the duels, I think, Chris Hanshaw can verify this, I'm thinking it generated maybe $12,000. Well, I think it would be pretty irresponsible for this board to collect $50 and let some for-profit go out there and generate $12,000. Whereas it's really meant to, the purpose of our schools is to educate our kids, not to allow someone to run a personal business.
Any other questions for Superintendent? Okay, action item B, approval of contract with Temper Sizemore LPN for the summer soul program.
That's a contract for LPN services for a diabetic student that's attending summer school. Ms. Chapman usually does that, but she's not here this evening.
Paid for by,
General funds.
okay,
Now, those 4 students are considered
that's,
regular education students.
okay. Do you have the next one, approval of
The
contract?
next one is for a student who has a disability who will be attending Mountain Lookout Elementary for nursing care services. And that's a recommendation from the nurse.
Excuse me,
Yes.
under term of contract, I'm confused here. It says, shall be from the date set forth in the first paragraph through June 30th, 2023.
That must be a typo. I didn't do that contract, Ms. Chapman did, but it should be, when's the last day of summer school, Josie?
July 28th.
28th, so that should be July 20th.
Probably July
Yeah.
the 20th.
It should be July 1st, so when does,
July 3rd.
July 3rd?
July.
Yeah, the month of July, when the student's in attendance.
She has the date for the back page.
It's right in the back? Okay. We'll just make sure we got the right one.
Okay.
And it's just for 1 month.
Yes, the student's attending summer
That's
school.
what it says. Kylie Price's.
Same,
Kylie
Oh,
Price.
Calix is wrong.
I don't know which one is.
He was talking about, I thought the first one, but maybe not. I may have-
These are
Yeah,
for
I
the
think
summer
they're both the
students.
same.
Okay. And we'll make sure we get the right ones, with the right dates. And the maximum is with, that's a recommendation of the school health nurse.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, price looks okay.
Okay.
It says from second day of June 2023 to July 31st, 2023, so that's all right. It's the other one that I have over.
Okay. We'll make sure that's correct. And then our occupational therapist, we need to contract with Dakota to provide services this summer because our occupational therapist will be off on maternity leave. And that'll be paid through extended school year funds.
okay. Any questions for Ms. Young? Thank you. Okay, action item E, approval of renewal of board and food contract.
Anybody have any questions? Gordon Food is who we got, purchase all of our food from except for bakery, dairy, and produce. We put bids out for them locally, which they're also on here. We are in a co-op, I think it's with 7 other counties, so we combine our purchases so we get better pricing. So this year was last year we put it out for bid, this was the 3rd year, the second year that it could roll over, I think this was the second. At our co-op meeting, we have them once a month, we had voted that we would all roll it over again. So that's why I brought it to the board to see if you would approve that.
How much did that raise over last year?
Food,
Yeah.
Oh my heavens, Kevin, it went up like 45%, 46%. Food costs are astronomical. I know Kevin come and said, oh my gosh, look at your food costs. I said, Kevin, have you went to the grocery store and look what it raised for one person and we're buying food for $3,500 to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it went up.
Those frozen dinners are up too.
Well, we don't serve frozen dinners.
We've had some.
But that's Gordon food contract, and then the HPS membership, Gordon is part of the HPS GPO, which is Group Purchasing Organization. So to purchase from Gordon, we have to be part of the HPS membership, and that fee is $3,275 a year, but I pay them weekly. So when we pay them weekly, by going in and doing that with our P card, we not only get the percentage back on the P card, we get a 1% for paying within 10 days. And I kept track of how much savings I had made last year on that. We had actually saved $11,198 paying it, getting that 1% back. So it well covered that $3,275.
Kevin trained you well.
Pardon?
Kevin trained you well.
He did. He did. Yeah, he makes fun of me. One time when I first started, I was off a penny, and he was like, Sherry, it's all the same fun. No, it matters to me, but it was all under the same, it was broken out, it was the same group. No, I hunted till I found it because it's
3 hours.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
Obsessive compulsive.
I love it.
Well, thank you for saving us $11,000.
One penny. One penny.
One penny.
Produce bid, we had 2. We took, of the items we put out for bid, we gave them a list of our most used items. 35 of them we got back, no pun intended, apples for apples, so we made sure they were exactly the same, what they were bidding on. And so Crick Brothers won our bid again this year. Dairy, we only had one vendor submit a bid for that, as we did bakery. And local beef products, we only had one vendor for that. The dish machine cleaning products, we had 2. And we did the same thing, well, the dish machine, HPS, the bid was disallowed on HPS because their bid was incomplete. So that left just the one bid that met all the requirements. Any questions?
Thank you.
And you know this makes me a nervous wreck, right?
Sherry, one more time. Okay, MOU with SESC for 1 lead technician and 2 information technology specialists.
Yes, so it's, June 30 every year, it's basically a continuing contract. I do know, Chris advised me, I don't think Buell will be asking to be reemployed. So, and he is actually our lead technician right now. So if one of our regular information technology specialists applies for that position and actually gets it, then that position will have to be posted. And this is all through the SESC. So it's just basically maintaining exactly what we currently have. And as you know, these individuals work in our schools. They keep all the computers functioning. They keep everything flowing for our schools. So no changes, just asking if you're okay if we move forward with rehiring rehiring positions through the SESC.
Has Joel announced his retirement yet, or?
I'm not sure.
I haven't seen it.
Chris just told me, I talked to him on the phone, and he just told me that he doesn't think Buell will. So I just want the board to know that I don't know that it will be all of the same individuals just reapplying.
Same
There's
jobs.
potential, it will be the same positions, but there's potential that it could be different people, or some different people.
Okay, action item I, purchase iPad for elementary school students from Apple.
Okay, so the board's already approved the purchases for the secondary students, and this is just a refresher for Apple products for our elementary students. And of course, this is coming out of our COVID funds is what we usually refer to it as. So it is a refresher for the elementary school students.
So what do we do with all the old iPads?
They get recycled, and I would have to ask Chris that. We've had conversations that they have a buyback program, that they will actually give us so much money for each iPad. So, to be honest with you, I don't recall. But we have a legal way that we have to either put things in a public auction or have, and like I said, we may have signed on to the buyback, I'm not 100% sure. But this will refresh our entire system for elementary school students. Because if they get too old, then you're gonna have nothing but problems. So we have everything on a schedule for refreshers. And so this is just refreshment time, and thankfully, we're able to use the COVID funding to do it.
Would it not be premature to advertise for a replacement when a resignation has not taken place? Should that be tabled?
No, it's just the position.
Yeah, this is for iPads. Oh, I'm sorry, which
No,
one are you
he's
talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about the MOU.
Oh, it's just a position. It's not, you're not hiring an individual. These are just, I'm asking that these positions be, allowed to be.
Remember, SESC hires them, we just put the position out.
Yeah, I know.
So-
Yeah, so you don't have anything to do with individual. I just try to be open and let the board know that there's possibility it may be different individuals or maybe not. It's just the positions that I'm asking about. And
And
it's
then wouldn't we have to have a specialist to prepare the iPads and give everybody the information on the new iPads?
Chris and his crew did that
yeah,
last time.
they take care of that. So the individuals, I don't know what the posting requirements are. Chris provides information to the SESC, and I'm not asking to change any of that. Then the individual's brought on. It's really critical that we not have a lapse in time. I mean, if you want to table it, then that's your pleasure. But we need to keep people on because it's summertime and things that they're going to be doing to get the computers up and ready and into the kids' hands. It's just kind of important to keep it moving.
That's just your job, you put it out every year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're very aware of it,
And
yeah.
you got, what, 800 TVs put in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do. I would hate for this to be delayed, but of course, it's the board's pleasure.
Anything else?
$170,000.
We can't do without them.
I said,
We can't do without them.
No.
There's no way.
It's not new
oh,
positions.
I'm okay with that, but I want to make sure that we can get them there and get them used and get them trained properly
Oh,
and have somebody.
But if the same ones go do the same job, they know what they're doing. And Chris had it all lined out, so
as long as,
we'll be good.
yeah. You're gonna have to hire somebody in those positions. I mean, we gotta have them. So, SESC is the one that actually hires them.
I know, yeah.
So, no matter who it is, we've gotta have them.
And Chris can sit on the interview panel, so they do it different ways. Sometimes people, from the board office will sit in on the interview panel, sometimes they don't. I've never sat in on one. We just give the guidelines, the certification requirements and things like that we want. And, we train them. So he's done a really good job with this. And, I know that we have people around who train, so.
I know what your concern is. Buell is very knowledgeable, and we hate to lose him. But, I mean, after a while, people do retire, so.
When? Yeah, no. The iPads can be paid for with federal money.
Yes.
What about the technicians? They would have to be paid for it.
No, we just continue with the same funding that we've always used. There's no change, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, not asking for any changes in it. And maybe I provided more information than I needed to. It's just that, it's just asking basically for a renewal of the positions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on any of these action items? Are there any of these action items that you would like to vote on separately, or can we vote on all of them at once? Okay, Mr. Green makes a motion that we accept action items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and under G is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and action items H and I. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Berry. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Consent items, finance. Payment of current invoices.
So yes, the first thing on the finance agenda is payment of current invoices, and I handed out some payments that we made today that we'd like to add to the packet as well.
Mine keeps fading out, come back to this. Okay. Sorry.
That's no problem. Any questions on payment of current invoices? Second item on,
The Hollywood Foundation, what is it?
Hollywood Foundation is a program that we've participated in for several years now. It provides books to elementary schools.
Oh, okay.
They actually mail them right to the students, right?
Yes.
Item 2 is a change order on the Richwood Walking Trail at Turner Morton. And change order for $17,968, and to provide labor, materials, and equipment to provide the foundations, which was in the drawings attached. Some documentation from ZMM for that project. So ZMM has recommended and approved that change order.
So that doesn't come out of our FEMA money, that's
No.
all between.
That's a separate PW,
I
which,
want to throw that out there again, because I know we'll be asked.
sure, separate PW that will be reimbursed 100%.
Is that on top of the 388,000 or whatever?
Yes, right now, the total contract for that walking trail is $438,198.
One of those,
It doesn't come out of our FEMA. Just me.
I know, but that's,
I know.
sounds like it's all over the road.
And again, that's not our project, that's a SBA project with FEMA. We're just, happens to be on our property.
It is not our project. I've stated that over and over.
Yeah, I understood that part, guys.
Maybe not our property for much longer either, if they ever give us the answer right. Did they ever answer that?
As soon as it's done, it's my belief that you can give it to a 501c3.
What was the total price on that one?
Total price, $438,198. $438,198. Item B is a change order with Buffalo Transport, and it's for a total of $20,316.11, and it's to provide a road and drainage for the drilling company, which is going to be doing the drilling for the geothermal system.
None of this covered under contract. I mean, when you make a contract, you mean we have to pay for the roads? They have a contract, and then when they build a road to get in, we have to pay for it.
But the site contractor, his contract was to provide the building pad and the parking facilities and the roadways in. A separate contract was to do the drilling. And so in order to access those areas of where that they wanted that drill, a road had to be built. So it wasn't in the drilling contract, and it wasn't part of the site contract. So
Why not?
I'm not sure.
Great.
Tennessee.
We get change orders every time.
Now we'll have them for the next several years.
Well, I mean,
Hopefully,
there should be some forethought. in this
hopefully we
stuff.
will have change orders, which means.
If I'm gonna do work, I'm gonna get a road to it. So I mean, that's,
It was 20,000.
Well, you probably
Well,
need
that-
to talk to the architect.
I know.
Wasn't that?
Actually, Mr. Moose, when I built.
20,000, Kevin.
$20,316.11.
Mr. Moose, when I built my house, the last thing I did was put the road in. I'm not kidding. I drove through the field until I finished and then put the road in.
Is the geothermal, are they drilling to be able to use geothermal for part of the heating, cooling stuff, so it should be well worth it. And there's some good tax advantages, I think, involved in that too.
Okay,
Item C is change order number 6 with Buffalo Transport for $2,111.04. And it's to provide labor, materials, and equipment to make modifications to a manhole. And I'm not sure of the details on that. Apparently there was some change that was required. And they have supporting documents there as well.
so Kevin, when we get these change orders, they come through our architects, right?
Yes, it's,
Construction manager.
it started with the contractor and through the construction manager and then the architect. It's also forwarded to the school building authority, which approves them, and then we're the final approval.
I know that, I was just kind of putting that out.
So item D is approval of a contract with Art Card Services for 6 elementary schools. Total of $89,862. And so it's to provide mobile art curriculum for 18 weeks, 4th and 5th grade, for 6 elementary schools. And if I'm not mistaken, that's to be paid from the federal stimulus monies.
How come just 6?
I'm not sure. I wondered about that myself.
All elementary principals were asked if they wanted to use these services, and those were the 6 who were interested in using them.
Okay.
And they're going to, it's a company based out of Vienna, Parkersburg area. It was created by an art teacher, and she noticed when kids came to middle school and had her art classes, they had minimal experience with art. So she created this company where they bring the materials, they bring certified art teachers, and they provide art classes to your students. And our elementary schools are going to use those so they can provide planning to their teachers. So they can look at data, come up with plans, whole school, while the students are getting art instruction in other areas.
All schools don't have art programs? Do all schools not have art programs?
Some do, since this is paid
Is
for,
that
I
why there are only
believe,
6, maybe?
with, pardon?
Is that why there are only 6?
Well, those were the 6 who were interested. So the opportunity was provided for all principals, and some of them were interested and some weren't. And there might be more next year after they see how it's rolled out.
Would it cost more if there were more schools, or is that a flat fee?
She has been wonderful to work with, and she would give a lower rate per school if we had more schools interested.
Is that federal money?
Mhm.
Item E and F is approval of contracts with Virginia Safari Park. We were able to work out the deposit issues. So Birch River and Somersville Elementary will be making a trip later on through in the summer.
And
Wasn't there another one that was?
Cherry River was, but they opted to go to a different place and stay instead of going.
Okay.
I could read your mind.
And then item G is a rental agreement with Appalachian Office Products. They provide the copiers for the majority of our schools, and it's for the upcoming school year. So I ask the board to approve those as well. And then we had one.
Does the difference seem to be, is it because of school population, or is it based on?
It's most generally, and it may not be consistent for every single school, but it's, he has a price per copy, which is usually like a penny or less. And, you know, the different schools require different copiers as far as size and speed. So it's really on an individual basis. They work closely with the school principal and develop what their needs are. They're really good to service those as needed. And they upgrade or bring new products to the schools as they tend to wear out. Hundreds of thousands of copies are made. And they're a Nicholas County business.
Do we rent those per copy, or is that for length of time?
It's for the year, and we pay per copy.
That's
Or a
what,
certain price per copy, and it's on your agreement there.
Yeah, up to a certain amount, and then if it goes over that, you have to pay extra.
Yeah. And then some of these may be as well, maintenance agreements, or if we happen to own the unit, they provide maintenance on those units as well. We've worked with them for as long as I've been around.
They're very quality.
Yeah.
So we work with them too, privately.
Yeah.
They do a good job, Dave Whiteley.
Generally a phone call, and they're here, if not that day, the very next day.
And local.
Yes. And with one surplus property form, some miscellaneous equipment at Panther Creek. And so we will include that in our auction on, should be the first Wednesday in August. And then finally, the budget. Budget, we constantly change, as you know, we do budget transfers and supplements all the time. And our last check in putting our approved budget into the system is putting it into the WEBA system. And so we did find an error, and error that worked out to our favor, and so I changed it. I submitted that to the state on May the 30th, and so I've included a copy of that, the approved the budget that I sent to the state, and I've asked the board to approve this revised budget. Long story short, our budget system had picked up the local revenues from 2023, and so when I caught that, we were able to plug in the new amounts, which increased the local revenues by $678,000, which ultimately reduced the amount of county contribution down to $2.3 million. So as far as that, anything else, the total expenditures per item didn't change. Other revenues didn't change. It was just that one adjustment we caught there in that last stage of the budget.
So the red number wasn't quite as much as,
The red number turned out, yeah, not quite as bad as we thought. And so that's always a plus. Item B is some out-of-state travel. It looks like 1 and 3 are related to the Virginia Safari Park. And item 4-0 would like to go to the Pittsburgh Zoo. And item 5 is Richard Middle School to Massanutten Resort in Virginia. Any questions?
any questions for Mr. Hess? Do we have a motion to accept the consent items under finance as presented, along with the payment of current invoices, contracts, surplus property budget, approved revised budget, and the out-of-state rental travel request 1, 3, 4, and 5?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Green makes a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Berry. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Personnel.
Yeah, you have the updated personnel agenda that was uploaded to the board packet. There's only one change, it's on page 3, it's highlighted in yellow. A copy was provided to members of the press and the public, but I will read it aloud. As Jason Evans seeks to be paid for any remaining vacation days he has up to 18 days. And I've also included on page 4 an updated vacancy list. If you approve the personnel agenda as presented, as in this evening, we'll have 17 vacancies. It seems like we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back every time, because we'll start filling positions and start whittling that down, and then we have people resign, so.
So it's customary when someone gets a 261-day contract, it's customary we pay them for the.
Our policy permits people to be paid out of vacation days up to 18 days. It's capped at 18 days.
Okay.
I've never known of a time of them not paying it,
No.
so it's supported policy.
Well, the only way I'd see it would be if you had to fire somebody or something.
Correct.
So, okay. Do we have a motion to accept the personnel as presented?
Make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, number 9, superintendent's information, construction planning, architectural update.
Okay, I would actually like to start with, I received a letter from the Department of Education, from David Roach, the State Superintendent of Schools. The West Virginia Board of Education and the West Virginia Department of Education would like to formally recognize your school for receiving Exceed Standard on one or more of the following 2022 balanced scorecard indicators: English Language Arts Achievement, ELA Progress, Mathematics Achievement, Mathematic Progress, Graduation Rate 4-year, graduation rate 5-year, on track to graduate, and/or post-secondary achievement. Congratulations to the staff and the students at these schools for earning this recognition. And it's Glade Creek Elementary, Zila Elementary, Mount Nebo Elementary, Mount Lookout Elementary, Nicholas County High School, and Richwood High School. So big kudos to these schools for this recognition. And so, of course, they each have a certificate that they will be picking up. As everyone knows, we did have bid opening, and there's a 60-day time frame for the superintendent to make a recommendation to accept or reject the bids. That time frame will be July 15th. So I will not be making a recommendation to this board. I think that's something that the new superintendent should do. The bids came in very high, as all the bids are coming in across the state. They actually came in at basically what our cost estimator thought they were going to come in. Unfortunately, some areas of the bid actually were not bid. So this project was bid prime and multi-prime, which means that individuals had the opportunity to bid on the entire project, or they could bid on certain sections of the project. They may only bid on electrical, or they may only bid on plumbing. They may only bid on, which we didn't get a bid on lockers, we didn't get a bid on casework. So all that our architects can do is actually give a best guess as to what they think those bids will be. So the total amount that we have with contingency fees, FF&E, everybody, the best estimate that they have is about $169 million for the project. We knew it was going to be grossly over. That's why last year when we came to I went to the board and I asked the board to downsize, all of the facilities being built to the minimum policy standards. And that's the reason why, because we knew there was going to be overages. So this board has a very, big task ahead of them. It is just very unfortunate that things have, prices have escalated to the point that they have. But again, we are at our minimum standards. I'm hopeful that there will be some relief and the board will be able to move forward. But again, July 15th is the date that the superintendent will have to make the decision on whether to recommend to this board to accept the bid or to reject the bid. Everything else is moving along. We are still waiting on, the camera systems are still not up at the Richwood area schools. That's something that's been, was in the bid package. It should have been up within 10 days of, my understanding, within 10 days of the contract being released and mobilization onto the project. We still are without live camera views. That's something I know that is very important to this board, and actually President Prime really firmly addressed that today in the meeting. People have a right to watch the construction. So there's some challenges there, but things are progressing. Glade Creek site, the building footprint has been completed. We're on target, we're in good shape. If we can get the money, we'll be in great shape. Anyone have any questions?
I have a comment or suggestion. While we're on construction here, I think Mr. Brooks is going to take Gus's place on the planning committee there with the SBA and FEMA. most of the plan is gonna be for this area, this side of the county, and he represents this side of the county. And he also has a lot of experience in construction, building.
Well, that has not actually been decided, so.
We all represent both sides of the county.
Hopefully we do, yes.
We
Well,
definitely do, there's no doubt about it.
we really, we didn't put that on the agenda, so actually,
We can put it on,
Actually-
that's something to put on the next agenda. It's a discussion.
okay.
That's what it is.
Anything else for superintendent on the construction plan?
I did see the cameras on top, they just couldn't get an IP address, is what it was. So there are cameras there.
Well,
I don't have hooked up.
Well,
Y'all might have a little more time to.
Mr. Green,
a little bit.
they had 10 days, and it's been several months.
Yeah.
It's still, they still don't have them.
So,
We'll be on that Ridgewood.
Mm.
the only thing is, if they didn't have it at Lake Creek, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but I've already been asked, well, how come they have and we don't, you know? And it was in the contract.
So I mean, I seen Eric under one day, and I was asking, he said, I think you have an IP address or something.
I think it'll be taken care of probably tomorrow.
Even better.
All right, reports. And this is where we're gonna have to appoint somebody to SESC, and because Dr. Penix was that person, so anybody have a motion to appoint somebody to that?
Mr. Ferguson would like to take it, I think.
I'm sorry, explain to me exactly what it is.
It's nothing.
It's actually it's a version of the old Reese's, how they operated, but now it's more of a cooperative of several counties that link together. And, you know, you serve on a board to determine who the director is for that organization. It's, you know, it supports itself. It helps us and other counties in providing positions like the technology specialist, bus driver training, you know, professional development. It's really there just to help the different school systems. And there's a monthly meeting, and you can actually do it online, or you can go in person. I always did it online. Dr. Penix always did it online. But there are occasions if you want to go and meet with the others, but each board's required to have that's joined, that's in this consortium is the superintendent and one board member.
I'm not afraid to work, but I respectfully think that there's somebody better qualified than me. I just got on the board, I don't know much about that. Nobody else.
Would you rather stay on one and see what it's about before you?
Sure.
Get you to that.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
We put him on the one. Well, and they put me on the Monday call, so you'll learn quick.
Well, I'm
Mr.
sure
Berry's
very
only
well.
like 2 inches.
I like Rick's suggestion. Let me sit in on one. If the board would like me to take that on, I would.
Okay. And then what you do is you come back and report to us what was, you know, what, if there is anything that we need to know.
I think if you do want to go to the offices in Bethany, is that,
Dr. Penix usually came in and just had on the call with me, so that way we could discuss what was going on. But that's typically, but you don't have to do that.
Well, like I said, I like Rick's suggestion. Let me attend one meeting and I'll tell you what I feel comfortable doing it, because I want to be an asset in anything I do. What's the old saying? I wasn't born yesterday. Usually that last board member, sometimes they'll put a few things on him that But it doesn't matter. I'll be glad to help the board in any way I can. And that's, not a lot of time, a representative that needs it, I'll be glad to do that. But let me sit in on one.
Okay.
Sure, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Bright Horizon, Mr. Green. Okay. Number 11, delegations, Lisa King. And so, wait a minute. So you'll need to state your name, although we know who you are. State your name, your address, and I'll tell you when to start. Usually we keep time on the TV, but our technology director is in Las Vegas. Probably shouldn't have said that.
He's at a conference.
He is at the conference. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Lisa King. I work at Richwood Middle School. My address is 3353 Nettie Fenwick Road, Fenwick, West Virginia, 26202. Okay, once I said, I work at Richwood Middle School, and for the last 2 years, I have been over the summer program at Richwood Middle School. So I'm here to discuss the rate of pay for summer employees. During the summer, all employees, teachers, cooks, custodians, and bus drivers make the same rate of pay of $23 an hour. Though I believe service personnel deserves this hourly wages, it's also my belief that the professional people should be higher paid. One reason I believe this is that we have a 4-year degree to be able to educate the children, even in the summer. If it wasn't for the teachers educating and supervising the children all day, the service personnel would not be needed. The second reason is that I've contacted the surrounding counties and discussed their summer pay. Most of their summer employees are paid their daily rate of pay. That means for me, like when I work, it's $61 less every day than what I would be paid in a regular year. Greenbrier County pays their teachers $30 an hour. So I like to put it in perspective. I'll contact our payroll person and ask about some new wages. So a new teacher's hourly wage is $24.40 an hour, while a new cook's wages are around $13.75 an hour. My question is, why are you giving service personnel such an increase in pay while cutting the teacher's pay during the summer? So that's all I have. So thank you for listening, and if you could get back with me, I appreciate it.
Well, let me say that usually we don't comment on these, but for this year, I'm sure budgets for this summer have already been
Right.
made. So as far as doing anything this year,
I understand that.
it's probably not going to happen. I wasn't aware that service personnel was making the same, I didn't know they paid the same rate. Kevin, is that right? Everybody gets the same?
I would have to look at that as well.
It is, they're posted for $23 an hour. And
Extended school year pays a daily rate of pay. We've always paid that way. I don't know about any other summer programs, but I wanted to make sure our summer program was accurately identified.
So when do we have to turn in federal budgets? Like, because I know this, a lot of this is out of federal money, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So when do we do?
The budgets for summer are set. It would be something that possibly we could look at starting with our after-school, because after-school tutors and service personnel are also paid $23 an hour. So possibly at the beginning of next school year. But Dr. Lee is really the money person, so she would need to be the person here to speak to that.
And I believe the reason that they paid the service personnel that rate is because we weren't filling the positions, which means, if you don't have bus drivers, you don't have a summer program.
But what if the teachers, none of them work for that rate, then what would we do?
Right.
We wouldn't have a summer program, so.
I think it's something we need to look at.
Let me just kind of jump in real quick. I know with some of the service personnel, I think it was pretty much, that was pretty much their daily rate for some of them. Typically with those positions, that is the most senior. And I think they were falling right around there anyway, so I think the mid has been kind of a clean cut off just to put it across the board for everybody. But I think that was the other, even at that rate, we're having a hard time filling these positions.
Well,
now.
certainly not against service personnel.
No, I'm not either.
I know that, they do, I mean, what they do, but at the same time, I do see where we should probably give teachers a little more, but we'll have that discussion sometime. Anyway, items for future agendas. Anything from anybody?
Well, could we look at this? No, I mean,
I
we
think,
can make a decision even though it won't be effective till next year, but
I think we definitely need to look at it before they make their budgets for the next round. I think it needs to be looked at myself. But
let's not forget.
I don't know if we want to put it on the next one, because we gotta give Sarah Lee, we gotta give Dr. Lee a little time to work on it.
Okay. Well, then when Dr. Lee says she's ready, we'll,
When do y'all usually have your budget, figured out?
The one for next year, I believe, is already set because she's been working on that over time, but there is flexibility where she could change something now if needed for the next school year. She that's just ongoing. She's really great about keeping up with that at all times, and if there is need for a change, then she's flexible.
So Mr. Berry had requested the construction planning committee appointment.
Okay. For the next agenda,
what was that?
to put somebody on the construction.
Oh,
And there's no reason why it can't be more than one, right?
You were on it already.
If you have 3 people, then you have a board
Yeah, you
meeting,
can.
and you have to notice it, and you kind
Even
of
if
get,
it's, it's not,
You don't want to do that.
you don't want to do that, because if you're having any kind of discussion that you're gonna be, that you're gonna use to make a decision with, it, without being a properly noticed meeting and open to the public, it could cause issues.
okay. All right, so we'll appoint that next meeting. Anything else for future agenda? And we'll, Josie, if you'll tell, Dr. Teacher, if you'll tell Dr. Lee that we would like to discuss that pay, second meeting, or first meeting in July, that'll give her a little time to think of it. Oh, well, July 17th, then. Give her some time. And we're not trying to mess her whole budget up, but I think it's something we'll probably ought to look at.
Takes a little bit more time, but she's on vacation right now, so
she's
she.
on vacation this week, I think.
We'll put that on July 17th agenda. Anything else, anybody? Well, before we adjourn, I just want to say it's been crazy last week with Dr. Tetrick leaving, that's our new superintendent. Going to a meeting in Charleston that I don't know that we got anywhere. But we do have another meeting tomorrow with FEMA, and hopefully it will be productive. Anything else?
I just like to publicly say again, thanks for the opportunity, and I look forward to learning. But the main thing I want to say is, I noticed you all may have already recognized him or whatever, but I worked with Kevin Hess over the years, not on a lot of things, but you're going to miss a good one. I wish Kevin the best of luck. He's very professional in everything he does. And no more interaction I've had this week. probably been about 3 or 4 meetings with Donna, and she's open, said that any questions, she'd be very open, and said that she would be open for any questions, and I appreciate this too. Appreciate your service, and your all's faith in me, but I'll try to do a good job for you. But I do wish Kevin was involved. Thank you.
He's still got a couple weeks.
You might change your opinion before you leave.
He's an accountant. I'm an accountant, I like good budgets.
All right, are all hearts and minds clear? Some people laugh at me when I say that. So we have a motion to adjourn?
Individual service.
Motion made by Mr. Berry, seconded by Mr. Green. All in favor? Aye.